know the facts. We know the facts about how you met. Do you have any stories of you and Grandma when you were first courting her?
Well, when we first met in the country, we were each going with different cliques of people.
Yeah? What were your cliques?
Grandma was going with the owner's son. Handsome fellow.
Oh, you had a boyfriend when you were?
Sort of.
Yeah.
and I was with a group that was I was 17. I was 19. I was 19. I was 19, and you were. This was what, 1940. It was the summer of 1940. Yeah, summer of 1940. So. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. So you were 17, and I was 19 at that time. Yeah, I was going with. We met at a place at a summer resort where people from New York tried to escape the city during the hot summer days, and so the wives and their children would be staying there for most of the summer, and the husbands would come up for weekends there. So so while we were there, I was with a different clique of friends. All in the same resort.
Were they all like math friends, or what kind of clique was it?
No, mostly girls and a few boys. Yeah.
Boys were a premium.
Yeah.
They were a premium? What's that mean?
Yeah, but there weren't many.
There weren't many boys?
You know, Grandma was very athletic.
Yeah, he's telling me.
But we met. The families met each other. You know, so they're able later on. Yeah, two families, both with the same summer resort, the same summer resort. So they're able to know each other. So so that later on they're able to give their okay.
Yeah. Did they like each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And
But you weren't dating at that time. But you knew each other.
No, I had no spending money. How can you date if you don't have spending money? I mean, we had dates.
These days, she'll pay for it.
Yeah, well, there were dates, but okay, the dates consisted of sneaking in to the hotel shows on Friday night, or probably Saturday. On Saturday night, Friday night was reserved for the home Shabbat, but Saturday night all the hotels had comedy specials. You know, it was a show. It was a show that they hired musicians, and comedians, and so on. But it's not like a theater where you had to hand in a ticket. So it was relatively easy to sneak in. If you're in the area, it was hard to distinguish you from a guest at the hotel. So that's what we used to do every Saturday night. A group of us would go together to different hotels. They were usually 1 or 2 miles away. So,
but you knew of each other.
Yeah, we knew of each other, but we weren't going to the hotels with the same groups.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
But we knew each other. But then during the rest of the week, we freely associated. There was a little swimming pond belonged to the resort area. This resort area was called the Echo Hill Hotel. Anyway, so my only lingering memory I have was of inviting Helen, my future wife, to go berry picking with me.
Oh yeah.
So blueberry picking. So we used to go. There used to be blueberries. We used to grow abundantly in that area. There. So I don't know so we went out, and I don't know whose blueberry
Just grew wild.
bush it was. I don't know, wild. But anyway, we used to stay there for a couple hours. So we would each, get these big plastic containers. I don't know if they had plastic. We had some kind of pot, maybe pails. Probably had pails.
Yeah.
And so that's how we got to know each other. Got to know each other picking blueberries.
What did you like about Grandma?
What do I like about her?
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that she was tall, because I was a shrimp. I didn't, like I told your brother, I was a shrimp until I was 17.
Uh-huh.
And 17 was when I first started to grow. Remember, I graduated from high school before I was 16.
Mm.
So I was about the second or third shortest person in my class here for many years. And my mother was, she was the second tallest.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Really
No, I'll tell you what. But no, that was an additional factor. The thing that really appealed, I'll tell you, the thing that really appealed your grandma to me
Uh-huh.
was the fact that I was at ease talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't show up until my senior year in college, because after that summer, we were both students at Brooklyn College together. So the following September, at the end of the summer, I started my senior year in college, and mother was she was in the midst year. You were in the second half of your freshman year. She was the second half of the freshman year and started there. Well, my senior year was very very eventful in my senior year. In December, the mathematics department there selected his candidates for an international mathematics competition. There's an international mathematics competition between the college and universities of Canada, U.S., and Mexico. Intercollegiate competition. The first year that the competition was run, it was won by the University of Toronto. Remember, University of Toronto students are a year older than U.S. universities, because they have a 5-year high school program.
Uh-huh.
Under the rules of the competition, if a school won 1 year, they were not eligible to compete as a school for the second year. They could send individuals to compete on an individual basis. So the second year, University of Toronto stayed out as a team, and the second year.
What does this have to do with?
I'll tell you what. It was very. This is. I'm getting to the whole point. The whole point of why we're sitting at this table today.
Really?
The second year, Brooklyn College won the competition.
Mm-hmm.
The third year, University of Toronto won. The fourth year, Brooklyn College won. Fifth year, University of Toronto won. So this was now the 6th year.
Uh-huh.
So it was very important that the school. So there was only a three-person team. Many people could enter the competition, but the scores of the 3 people who were named beforehand were the ones that counted for that team. So at Brooklyn College, they had an examination in December, and the top candidates then were selected to be the team members. We had, so to cut the story short, I got a high score. In the December competition. I was selected to be a team member.
Okay.
In the competition took place, I think, in April, something like that, or earlier, late winter, early spring. The competition took place, and Brooklyn College won, and I was a member of the winning team then. So it was a great honor, because it was a competition throughout all the colleges, So the time that was announced, I was taking a physics lab course. And at that time, they assigned two people to work together in an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a young lady who was working on the experiment that we were doing in the physics lab. And so I asked her on I guess what you call a date, but just a talking,
Yeah.
a social date,
Yeah.
And so I had a social date with her that weekend. And later on the evening. But the day of my date with her, they made the announcement of who the winners were. And so I was in great spirits. I went to see her, this young lady, but she was from the lab. I come into her house, and the first thing I meet was she has two twin sisters, gorgeous girls, but younger than her. And they were both students at New Utrecht High School. They were seniors at New Utrecht High School at that time. Anyway,
Still
I had a difficult time. Okay, so I talked to her, but it wasn't running smoothly.
Pretty twin sister.
Yeah, well, that's what sticks out of my mind now. Okay, so anyway, so I had a difficult time, communicating with her. Well, about that time, Helen decided that she wanted to introduce me to her friends. She had a gang of girls, gangs, I should say, girls and boys, the whole community. Yeah, and so she invited me the next day. The next day, she invited me.
You were friends at the time, or you were tutoring her at the time? Are you talking about grandma? Who are you talking about? Or this girl?
Yeah, the grandma. So grandma invited me to a party, I guess. Anyway, she invited me. So anyway, it was either the next day or most likely later that evening. I probably went over to see this girl in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, one of the beautiful twins I saw in the afternoon. But in the evening, I saw Helen.
Yeah.
And I was able to talk to her about, what it meant, because it meant an awful lot to me. It meant now that I would get recommendations for graduate school, because we had no money at all, whatever, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that the ease of my talking to her, she was an excellent listener. She still is. She's an excellent listener. So that's really what attracted. What attracted her was she was an excellent listener, and I felt I could communicate freely with her.
Isn't it usually the other way around?